Hello and welcome back. Here I am heading back to Worthington BMW because James informs me they've now got the new Bmw F900Gs in stock as a demo. So I'm going to go in, take it for a ride and see what this new 900Gs is all about. Here we are, Worthington Motorcycles. Now, where is this new 900Gs? Well, here she is, the Bmw F900Gs. This has got the enduro option, so it's got the upgraded and adjustable shower forks and the better shock. It's got the Akrapovic exhaust, it's got the knobby tyres. This is exactly how I would have it. So now, let's get on it and check it out. Okay. First thing I noticed, just wheeling it round, it's hides its weight well. It feels nice and light. Not used to having a bike without a key, so I do that and then press this. Okay, stand up. First gear. Let's go. One of the first things I do notice is seems to have a little bit more power and torque down low compared to the Ducati Desert X. That's actually quite nice. So I'll continue doing a little bit of just urban riding, just seeing what it's like on the streets. Then I'm going to take it on the freeway and out to the bush. Taken off in second gear there, plenty of low down grunt. Yeah, she feels nice. Actually feels better down low than the Ducati, which is surprising. I thought the Ducati would have the torque, but I found the Ducati had the torque up top. This has got a little bit more power down below. I'm going to fill it right up. Oh, seems like it nearly is. I'm going to fill it right up so I get to feel what it's like with a full tank of fuel. I think that's full there. So, very soon we'll take it on the freeway, then in the bush. Very happy with these modern bikes and their cruise control. Makes the freeway, the highway stuff so easy. A lot more relaxing when you're not having to worry about keeping the speed, and even that slight little bit of pressure on your wrist, just relieving that and resting your wrist. So good. The wind from the screen is not too bad. There's no buffeting, but it is hitting me just in the bridge of my nose, and I'm 5'10", so there is a little bit of wind noise to the helmet. So getting close to the dirt, and I've just been playing with the ride modes, so it looks like you can only have 4 selected to work through the mode button. So I've turned off dynamic, which actually I should turn off road. Oh damn it. So that one, road, yes. Okay, I like dynamic. Turn that one on. Okay, let's see, we go back now, back to the screen, and through here, dynamic, enduro pro. Okay, I've done it. Warning, ABS and DCT. Okay, that's good, that's what I want. ABS hopefully off at the back, traction control off or minimum. I don't know what's happening here with the fuel gauge. I have filled it up, but it's not showing me something there. Okay, I think I'm happy. To take it in the bush, so let's continue. Just climbing now up into the bush, and I'm using this time to get used to the Enduro Pro power delivery. It's very smooth and linear. It's definitely removed that powerful bottom end hit that the dynamic mode had. But this should be perfect for the dirt, for controllability of the power going to the ground and the controllability of the power slides. The bike feels really nice in this environment. In your mountain twisties, the roads that are not in the smoothest of tarmac surfaces, the bike just eats it up. Okay, here we are, the dirt. Now, let's take it easy, get used to it. Let's see how she goes. There's some wheel spin. It's funny how as soon as you change surfaces from the tar to the dirt, that the available power and the power curve, the power delivery suddenly, oh yeah, backstepping out there, suddenly suits it a lot better. So on the road, I really like the dynamic power setting, very punchy out of the corners. Here in the dirt, in the first not even a minute on the dirt, I'm quite at ease with this very linear, smooth Enduro Pro setting. Whoa, that was a bit of a wheelie and a wheel slide. Power slide at the same time. I do not recommend that. Oh yeah, brakes are plenty powerful. Yeah, I don't think you really need more than third gear in the bush on this thing. Have to say, standing up is very comfortable, very dirt bike like. The reach to the handlebars, for me, I found, sit back down here, I found when sitting down, the reach to the handlebars for me at 5'10" is a little bit further forward than I would like. I would actually like the bars, oh, it's a bit off camber and sketchy this corner. I would actually like the bars a couple of inches further back. You can see here, I'll look down, the bars, the center of the bars are forward of the, I'll show you again, forward of the forks. I prefer them neutral or back slightly. And if they were in that position, they'd be back here and it'd be much more comfortable for me sitting down. Standing up, on the other hand, they feel fine. They feel really good. It's just very nice, this power delivery. I can feel the back stepping out, but it's controllable. You can tell I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the bike because the speeds are starting to creep up. Not sure if the video shows it, but this road's got a very pronounced camber on it. So I'm not sure, hey, call it a crown in the middle of the road, and then it falls off the camber either side, so it's a bit sketchy with this loose surface. Oh yeah, feeling very comfortable on the bike now. Fourth gear, cruising with a little bit of fun and wheel spin, but very confidence inspiring. Yeah, this Enduro Pro setting's letting me have a little bit of fun with the back end sliding around, but it's buttoning it off very gradually, so I don't really feel it. There's a few things I want to talk about straight up, and it's to do with the ergonomics of the bike. It's very thin and minimalist back here. Those tail lights look great, but what I'm finding when I'm standing, you can see here these pillion pegs are angled out, and as I lean back they push my legs apart. So obviously if you're not riding the demo bike and you're not taking passengers, you'll take these off, because that will keep that slim feeling and you'll be able to move around a little bit better on the bike. I mentioned previously the handlebars. For me, I would prefer them back here, and I think that's only a matter of a different mount here that'll offset it, and I have seen them available for the other BMW GSs, so I don't think that'd be too much of a problem. But for me, definitely moving them back here would be perfect. That would move the handlebar ends here and would suit me better for sitting down, and probably standing up would feel about the same. Now the other thing is, and I think you can see it here, this part of the tank, while on the road it didn't get in my way, when I'm standing forwards, standing up, and want to put some weight forwards, get my head over the handlebars, I do feel it pushing my legs apart a bit. So maybe it's just some getting used to I've got to do, but they're my first impressions of the ergonomics. And when I rode the Ducati Desert X, it just fit me. I didn't have these little niggling issues. So as I said, perhaps it's just a getting used to thing, but these things are on my mind as I'm riding. So I'm feeling my legs being pushed apart, I'm feeling my legs being pushed apart here, and I'm feeling the reach to the bars is just a little bit too much for me. If you're 6 foot, that reach is going to be better for you, but are your knees going to be here? So I'm 5'10" with I'm going to say a 32-inch inseam. There's still a bit of room there, but let's see how we go. What I'm going to do now is take us down this track, and that's where I did a few little jumps on the Desert X and we bottomed it out. I'll see how this BMW F900Gs Enduro handles that. Let's go find out now. We still have Enduro Pro, ABS is off, traction control is off or minimal. I still would like to know how much fuel I've got left. Alright, no one's coming. So this is where the track gets a little bit rougher. Let's see how we feel. The suspension feels firmer than the Desert X. I'm getting more feedback through the bars and the pegs. Yeah, so far so good. I haven't touched the suspension settings at all, so they should be just the standard settings. And I'm only light, I'm only 70 kilos, so I shouldn't need to touch them too much at all. Now I am taking it a little easier today because I'm by myself and I don't want to do anything too silly and be stuck out here. That was the jump. I think I jumped on the Ducati and bottomed. I'm not sure if this bottomed or if it was just the stand hitting. I'll see how we go for the rest of the track, because there are some more little whoop-de-doos and jumps the whole way down this hill now. Either way, it didn't, if it did bottom, it didn't bottom as hard or go through the stroke as harshly as the Desert X did when it landed. Yeah, so I'm just doing a little brake check here. The rear ABS is off, I can slide it around the corners, no problem at all. Steer with the back, easy, that works well. Yeah, the front's still got ABS on and it's, oh yep, I could feel it there, modulating. I was a bit worried, these modern bikes with twin discs, the brakes are so powerful, I'm always a bit worried off-road what they're going to be like, and I want to do these little tests to give myself confidence. Yeah, so that's good. I know I can, in an emergency situation, I can grab a handful of brake and it's not going to wash out the front and put me into the dirt. So brakes, yes, happy with those. Well, just off camera then, I did another little jump and can confirm that the front did bottom out. Definitely maneuverability is good on this bike. It doesn't feel that much of a big bike. I can tip it into turns, change lines, stay on my chosen line fairly easily. Cut the corner. Oh yeah, now I'm getting confident. Oh, overcooked it. Yep, brakes pull up well. Now this is the stuff adventure bikes are made for. Nice winding country road. This bike is doing it easy. Very confidence inspiring. Gate. I'm by myself, I'm going to have to open it and close it. Not used to doing that. Usually lead rides and make other people open them and close them. So, now this is a good test. What's it like pushing? Oh wow. For a 200 kilo bike, that actually was much easier than I thought. Oh, stop baby. Yeah, pushing it round, very easy. Again, that tail end, I like it, very minimalist. Nice. This bit, I'm still not sure about. Hey. One thing I've noticed is I do have a lot of confidence in this front end. I haven't had any thoughts about it stepping out, tucking in. I'm just, yeah, confident that it will stay where I put it and I can lean on it. One thing I must say is this front end, I'm very comfortable and confident in it. On the dirt, it was great. I didn't have any worries about the front end stepping out or washing out. Must have a bit of a front weight bias because it's, yeah, just sticking in everywhere. Yeah, nice. Oh, there's a cow up the road. Slow down, baby. Okay. Shouldn't be here, cow. Go home. So the bike was very controllable then from 4th gear power sliding up through the speed. I don't know, I'm going to take a guess, I didn't look down, but if you have a look at the video, I'm going to guess we're around 100 kilometers an hour. And then luckily I picked a cow on the road further ahead and was able to wind in the speed, bring the bike down under control very easily. Even with ABS off on the rear, I applied some rear brake, it slid around a little bit, but the front was controllable and just washed off the speed I needed to wash off very easily. So, oh, here we go. Everyone's out and about today. It's all the fun and excitement of adventure riding. You don't know what you're going to come across. You need to make sure you ride within your limits and the limit of what you can see. It's no good blasting around this corner at full noise when you don't know what's on the other side. So if anyone's sitting back watching saying I'm riding a little bit soft, that's why. I'm by myself and I'm riding to enjoy it, not to race, riding to enjoy. Go back on the road, and you know what that means? I can have my dynamic mode back. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, slow down, slow down. Okay. So, what's the bike like? What do I think after, what have I done? A few hours and probably 120 kilometers. Most of that, or at least half of it, through the bush. What's my overall impression? Well, it's definitely a great bike. Definitely BMW have stepped up a notch with their F900 range. It's definitely more dirt bike now than it ever was. Power, great. Handling, great. Ergonomics, there is a few little BMW quirks there. Overall, it's a great bike, and I think if you're coming from a road background or a bigger, like the BMW 1200, 1250, this will really suit you. If you're coming from a dirt background, and that's my background, there's a couple of things in the ergonomics that just, they're not quite off-putting, but they're just a little, they're on my mind. I'm thinking about them. So one of them is the easy fix. That's the rear passenger pillion pegs. Take those off, no problems at all. The other one is the reach to the handlebars, and as I said, I'm 5'10". For me, that's just a little bit of a reach. I'd move them back, and that's doable. That's not hard. If you're over 6 foot, no need to bother. But the tank, the shape of the tank, and it's not even really the tank. It's the plastic covers around the tank. When you're sitting down, your knees tuck in and the bike feels slim. When you stand up, it does spread your knees a little bit. In time, would I get used to that? Probably. At the moment, it's on my mind. So if you come from a road background and you're not used to standing up, it's not going to bother you at all. The difference between the dynamic mode and your off-road Enduro or Enduro Pro is quite pronounced. So on the Desert X, I could feel a little bit, but not that much. Here, you definitely feel. You put it back on, get back on the road, you put it in dynamic mode, and yeah, she pulls out of corners. It gives you good power for the road. I tried a little bit on the dirt, and it's just too much. You want actually I like the Enduro Pro, because that gives me the settings that I want for ABS and traction control. But Enduro and Enduro Pro just smooths out the power delivery, gives you that linear power curve that just works in the bush. The suspension, I like this suspension better than the Desert X, and I haven't set up either of them. The Desert X, the new one's coming out, which is the Desert X, is it the Rally? I think it's the Rally, Desert X Rally, and that one starts at $36,000, but it's got upgraded suspension, wheels. It's a more off-road package, whereas this is easily $10,000 less. And not having ridden the Desert X Rally, but having ridden the Desert X, I feel this suspension
is a little better, and I haven't even played with it. It definitely holds it up higher in the stroke. It did bottom out, but it didn't bottom out as hard, and I found I could push a little bit harder in the rough stuff with this suspension. So the things that, and I call them BMW quirks on this one, one is a positive and a negative. The riding mode, you can set that, it's got the button on the right hand, you just press for mode, but there are actually 5 riding modes. There's rain, road, dynamic, enduro and enduro pro. But with that button, it only lets you select 4 of them. So you have to go in through the menus, turn one of them off, so that you can have the 4 that you want in the easy press button. So that's a BMW quirk to me. Like, it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to go through the 5 modes just off that button. What other quirks have we got? Really, that's about it. The screen is an enduro screen, so it's a bit lower. The wind was hitting me about here on the freeway, so it was a clean wind for me. With my helmet, it was clean, there was no buffeting, but the wind was hitting me there and there's a little bit of noise. I've got a motocross helmet on today, so it's a bit noisier. But the bike definitely was comfortable on the freeway. So for me, I'm testing this bike as an adventure bike in adventure bike setting. So other people might test this bike, its off-road ability, and show you what it can do. I want to show you what this can do for the average punter, the average adventure rider. Is it for you? Well, I think it might be. The power's good, it's comfortable. There's a couple of little quirks with the ergonomics if you're standing up, but there's a lot of things that make up for that. And if you're looking for a new bike in that, call it mid-weight, but I don't like the words mid-weight, mid-size, mid-engine size, mid-capacity, the 900, this is definitely one to consider. It's less top-heavy than the T7, less top-heavy than the Africa Twin, but that's probably in the bigger bike range. It feels very light when you're riding it, feels light when you're pushing it round. When you're sitting on it and manoeuvring it, it doesn't feel its weight. What else can I say about it? People are going to say it's only got a 14-litre fuel tank, and that could be an issue. I spoke to a few owners and they're saying they're getting 340, 350 Ks out of 14 litres, which is good, that's probably what I say is a minimum for an adventure bike, 350 kilometres between refuels. I'd like to see an option of a bigger fuel tank, and that's, I think, because this bike is new, one of the things that could be a negative at the moment is the amount of accessories in the aftermarket that are available for it. We don't have any racks yet. I don't think even BMW has a rack. So luggage capability is a bit limited. I'm sure things will come out, but at the moment, being a new model with limited aftermarket support, you might need to take that into consideration if you're looking at it. But for my appraisal, this is a really good bike. It surprised me with its power, with its low down power on the road. It surprised me with its lightness. Its suspension surprised me. Overall, really impressed with it. But for me, those couple of little niggles with the ergonomics standing up, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to put some more miles and some more time on it and think about it. I didn't have those niggles with the Ducati, but then the Ducati's got other issues. But for me now, this definitely worth consideration. Definitely have a test ride, and if you're anywhere between Newcastle and Sydney, get to Worthington's. This is their test bike. You can take this out like I have for a good few hours, join them on a Wednesday ride, take it out for a few hours with a great group of people and see what the bike's really like. So that's about it for me. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day riding it back to Worthington's. It's going to be sad when I hand it over, but I still have some decisions to make. Is this for me? Is this my big adventure touring bike? More time has to be taken to think about that.
So there's an issue. I filled up and I've got to check how many Ks we've done, but it's saying tank reserve level reached. So maybe there's some limitations with how hard you push this. So I've just filled up And it's telling me with my riding style I have a 300 kilometre range. So is that enough for an adventure bike in Australia? You'll have to decide that. That brings us to the end of the test ride. And now, got some decisions to make. Is it going to be this BMW or the Ducati?
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.